Alrighty, so there's been a lot of talk about Kronos lately and what he does and how strong this build is. So it's the Kronos rush, right? So the idea is you want to advance as fast as you can, put pressure onto your opponent and get a lot of damage done to make up for the fact that you advanced fast. Now, in the past, specifically, let's talking Legacy, you would put 5 citizens to food, advance, and you would have quite a bit of idle talents at a time. So the amount of sort of damage you need to get to make up for the fact you've advanced so fast was quite a lot. So you could get away with a lot of kind of defensive ideas against the Kronos rush and be completely fine on Legacy. And then we came into Retold, and it was seeming pretty difficult to get that fast advance in. We weren't really seeing it up until Soup came up with sort of a build that would get him a pretty quick advance time, but he was still having some idle time. And now we get into this next era, which is the 15 population Kronos rush, which requires very, very little idle time and all the other good stuff. So I'm going to jump in, show you the build, and I'm going to go through and try and give you a whole bunch of options that you can do to counter Kronos. So the build is incredibly simple. You're just going to send a villager off to gold at the start, and then you're just going to be effectively doing this on the food. Whole reason is you want to get yourself the temple up as fast as you possibly can, and you're going to send your oracles like straight across to your opponent's base. There's not really much thought process there. You just do it. Put this villager straight onto the hunt. Any goats you find across the map, it's fine. You probably wouldn't actually do the Kronos rush on a map like this, but we have seen people losing to this as well. So yeah, the reason you wouldn't do it on this is because you need to be able to put pressure onto both of these gold mines, which I don't think would be that powerful. Anyways. As soon as this temple is ready, we're gonna basically throw that up, and we can put the citizen back onto the food, or we can just eat a goat. So as soon as that temple is there, we're good to go. Actually, I'll tell you what, we'll go onto the goat. So, bam, bam. Okay. I think there might even be enough food inside of just this one oracle. So, and then what you're gonna do with these oracles once they get nice and close is you're going to be ready to try and find wherever they're putting the temple down, basically, because that's basically what you want to be denying, in essence. So we've got this. I am looking over here to drop myself the temple in their base, so we're going to go with it here. Stop building the extra villager now as well. There is a variant of this where you start the next citizen. Do I have enough food here? Yeah. There is a variant of this where you start the next citizen here, but I'm not going to need to here. I'm just going to advance. In fact, I could probably advance before the citizen is out. So literally 0 idle time. So yeah, this is the power of this build. I have 0 idle time, 15 population advance, and I'm good to go. We're going to go through Leto on this one. You can also go through Prometheus. And then from here, you just put villagers onto both of these things. And where effectively you want to try and find that temple, wherever it might be, ready to put pressure. We're going to shoot this guy over here. These guys go here, then here, then here. And you're ready to kill him. I don't know if I really need to show much more than this. The general premise for this is we want to go for. We got to get a house. We want to go for a whole bunch of automatons. We can see his temple coming up over here, so we can actually time his advance time for just after this finishes. If for whatever reason they go that late, you just say great. Or you time it for whenever the priest is just about to be able to pop out, so it's about a 15-second time. So after 30 seconds, maybe you can go for whenever, but whatever. The whole idea here is you can see that when I run into his base, I'm not scared of anything here. And we can do this, and maybe we can even come over here, and these guys can go there, and we're basically killing. So yeah, this is effectively the strat. You don't have to think too much about it. I can do this here. If I want to be equally shit, I give them gold, but I pick off like 3 villages. I thought I'd pick off 3 villages. Anyways, I'm not going to keep going. I'm playing against the AI. So yeah, that's the general premise of the build. And you can see that the problem here is that I'm in their base with 3 automatons at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's what we're trying to defend against. Let's go through a whole bunch of gods and see what we can actually come up with. I'm going to start with the gods that I think are probably the most susceptible to this rush and give you some ideas that you can try and use to break this. So the first god is one that we have been seeing getting having some very quick losses inside of Champions League, which is Thor. So I'll show you a quick build with Thor that I think is perfectly reasonable. Now, pause. One thing you'll notice from that last build that you would have seen is that there were 0 villagers on wood. So how do we know if our opponent is going for the 15 population Kronos rush, the 17 population rush, or maybe a 19 population kind of more like 4-minute-ish advance time type idea? Well, we just got to rush into their base straight away and check things out. So the very first thing I'm going to do when I play versus Kronos is I'm just going to send my Berserk straight into their base. Like, it's literally that simple. Just go into their base and see what they're doing at the start of the game. I can run around their base for a little bit. I can try and prevent them from sending some goats back to their main base. We got all the time in the world here. Obviously, if I can grab some goats on the way over, that's fantastic. And I'm just going to check things out. So you can see I'm building dwarves here. I got 3 on gold. That's it. Charge in. Try and find where his actual base is and go. Okay, he's on gold. Okay, fantastic. Oh, he's on wood somewhere. Okay, we get a nice little bit of scouting around here to see everything. And at about 1 minute, we want to be bailing out. Okay, so we've seen enough here. Okay, we've got all the information we need. Let's charge back to our base. You would have seen enough there with that first initial scout to make some decisions about what's coming. Let's say he didn't have any on wood. He had 3 on food. He had 1 on gold. Great. We know what's coming our way. So now we're going to build 2 gatherers and we're going to be going for our temple. The positioning for the temple should always be at the very back of your base because that gives us the most opportunity to deflect an oracle from coming in from either side. So I'm just going to run all the way back here. And as soon as that gold comes in, you can see I'm just about to have the gold to drop the temple. I'll do a little quick garrison thing to get over here. Bam. And now we're going to force drop. And we are going to do this. I would love to be able to build a dwarf here as well. I don't know if that's going to be possible. So I get another gatherer. That's fine. And this gatherer here can grab this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could probably go for 3 gatherers first and then go for the dwarves, but I'm not here giving you a super build. I'm giving you a build to use. Okay, now here's the first trick. As soon as this temple gets up, we actually want to build a Herser because this plays around the problem, which is our temple getting deconstructed. So we build that dwarf first, that Herser first. And then from here, we're going to actually pre-queue our advance time. And we can do this. And we can drop. Okay, we don't have enough resources. Let's pop back out. And we drop. And we're good to go. So there's like, it's somewhere between 225 and 330 that I should be advancing. I screwed it up a touch there. But this is like the ultimate fast advance you can do. Now, I've also screwed this up a little bit. I probably should have gone onto this back gold mine because I want to be close to a forest because these dwarves want to go over to the forest. He'll probably deconstruct your temple. If he deconstructs your temple, fantastic. Now we've got gold reserves and we can actually go into a great hall straight away rather than rebuild the temple. I don't care about the early troll versus this. I'll get him later. But this is the general idea. It plays around deconstruction. If you get deconstructed mid-Herser, you just rebuild the temple and you get the Herser out. It's fine. Generally, you won't see a deconstruction. You won't see a deconstruction until like just before you're hitting the next age because that's what people want to do. But nonetheless, we would do something like this here to make up for this, and we've got to get ourselves our houses in, and maybe another Herser as well. And you're getting attacked, not just yet. You're going to be getting attacked We said it was about 3:30. You had 3. So he's hitting the classical age now. He's in your base around about now. This guy should be over here. And you should have the house up and this next Herser out as well. And you can see there's no way you're going to take any damage from basically anything coming here. So now we can do something like this. We can do this, and we are like really good to go. Make all the Herser in the world, and you can just play from here. And this is a totally fine position because you read what happened. Now, here's the questions: what happens if Kronos goes for a different type of idea, and then you mess it up, and he doesn't actually hit the classical age at 3 minutes? He goes for like a 4-minute advance time. Well, in those sorts of situations, you got 2 ideas here with Thor. Not with Norse, with Thor. Idea number 1 would be to just drop the armory and then go for your armory upgrades, have them late, but you're like in a perfectly good position anyways because you're going to be in front on villages, and you can just play from that position instead of just having like an advantage because you did it super fast, like a greedy advantage. You're just kind of in a nice spot. You can outplay and have a good game if they go for our later advance. Or alternatively, if you read that they're going for this advance, but then you, for whatever reason, noticed that they didn't have any oracles forward or whatever, that their score looked off, whatever you want to do, you could actually drop the temple forward. And that's a completely different option. Put the temple forward and then look for a bit of a rush onto them with the early Herser. And that can give you that economic advantage back. And you can just play armory after the Hersers as well, get that value. So you could send those Herser forward and get some damage. But this is a general anti-Kronos build. I think it's perfectly fine. There's a whole bunch of other ways to go, but this is one way that I would probably try and probably succeed. All right, let's try another one. The next one is probably going to be the Japanese are probably pretty susceptible to this idea. So my first idea here is actually with Susanoo. This guy really shouldn't be dying to a Kronos Rush. In fact, you shouldn't even be getting Kronos Rushed as Susanoo. There's actually no way. I'm actually going to show you if I can get me a... we'll just get a Kronos in here as the god for them. Okay, so this is a silly idea, but I think it's really good versus Atlantean. So the general idea here is we're not going to go for a Miko off the bat against Atlantean, but we're going to go straight onto our gold mine here. We're going to go straight onto our gold mine. We're going to drop ourselves our thing, and we're just going to go scouting with this, and we're going to put everyone onto food. And you'll see exactly why we're doing this shortly. Because all I have to do is find where an oracle is while I'm scouting. All I have to do is defend my base from any sort of oracles sitting there trying to get vision. And we can actually deny the time shift. Okay, and then we get this in. Bam, bam. So this works versus all the Atlanteans, and like the only real counter is to heroize the oracles. I might need to get that up a bit quicker than I am, but it's fine. And effectively, we're just going to be circling. Because you know how I said you have to send the oracles forward here? You're going to be doing that. You're just going to be searching for oracles wherever they might be. And you're also going to get a pretty fast advance behind this as well. This villager can then drop onto some wood here. No problems there, because we actually do need to get ourselves a little bit of wood. Also, you have your Miko to defend if anything does actually end up getting by. So we're going to get crushing waves first. And you probably don't need to get crushing waves. You can go for the Kitsune first. But anyways, you're just hiding. You're just searching around your base like this. You can also go and scout their main base to see if the crush is happening. And then maybe you can go for some late Miko as well. But in these sorts of situations, you have pretty much everything you want here. Just need to get the houses up. So there's this one. Just nom on that. Which means he has to keep moving, which means he can't get the line of sight to do anything, right? Now there's another one over here. Charge forward to kill that. And then we just have to keep him away from this other side and we're literally good to go. And it's still going to be about a 4-minute advance time. So he'll be advancing, but he won't have a temple on your side if you do it correctly. And you want to go through this garden, right? That's the general idea. Bit of a late advance time, but you've completely denied the time shift, so he has to walk across the map with a 3-minute advance. Also, he hasn't grabbed any favor because his oracles have been getting harassed from the very start, and you're good to go. That's my idea here with Susanoo. I'm not sure this works all too well with Amaterasu or with Tsukuyomi, but they've got their own sort of ideas as well, right? So let's pop out. Amaterasu, what would you do here? You have Solar Shield. Actually, no, you have plenty of Miko. With Miko, okay, I'll show you the Amaterasu idea. This is my idea from a while back that I used, and it was perfectly fine. We're just basically going to be doing this. You go there. Yeah. Right onto our gold mine. Smack up onto the gold mine as well for this villager. Again, you can harass the Kronos player as well with the Kitsune. That's fine. This boar is annoying me, so I'm gonna get a better boar. You want to grab this thing. Okay, so I found an oracle. I will start harassing that guy. I know it takes an age to actually kill this thing, but you can't. I'm stopping favor income. I'm stopping scouting and all that other good stuff. I mean, you don't have to do this. You can just go scouting with Amaterasu. It doesn't really matter. So you have two options here as well. You can actually go for wood, but I want to go for the faster advance. So we won't, because we're playing against Kronos. Just advance quick. You don't have to. You can get extra Miko out, but you want to wait for Kagura to come through, and then you can get more Miko out, because it makes your town center train the Miko faster, right?
Nani?
Okay, and then once that's done, come over here and drop the thing. And we get the temple. And probably from here we can just get 2 more Miko, I think. Maybe. I need to get a house, but anyways. Actually, I might go 1 more villager and then a Miko. Because it trains faster. And we should be able to advance here at 15 pop, is my guess. Do I have enough food in this? I think I do. So my last Miko. And now I have enough to defend, and we're going to be able to get ourselves our things down and advance. Perfect. You can go Shrine of the Hunt if you really want, but it doesn't make sense versus Kronos because he can deconstruct your shrine. So it's going to be Amano Uzume. And yeah, and so now like he's going to be looking to attack us soon, but we can start building our shrines for all of our favor. You could all, of course I'm not actually scouting or anything, but I'm in a perfectly good position here to do pretty much anything that I want. Get the house up. Come over here for another shrine. If he charges in with the automatons, now we're there. You know, he can't do anything, etc. This is like, I can't see a Kronos rush getting any damage done when you have this amount of hero to defend the automaton or the Promethean. I guess another little trick is make sure your wood and your gold are nice and close together so your Miko can defend both of those at once. As an idea. But okay. That's the Amaterasu idea. And I guess for Tsukuyomi, you get out the Juragumo. I would consider actually new mooning the temple to get Ivory Netsuke as well as Wisdom of the Nine to make your Juragumo defend the stuff really, really nice. You get a Miko to heal the Juragumo while it's fighting those automaton or those Prometheans, so she doesn't die ever. And then you also have yourself set up for Hachiman Tengu just by buying ascetic practices and the Tengu. So it's basically the same thing as playing Amaterasu, except you don't need to. You just build the Miko. I don't think I need to show that one. You just build the Miko, maybe new moon the temple after he deconstructs it first. Or something like that. Don't think that China has any issues against the Kronos Rush. You just advance with one Kwafu and make pioneers, or even two Kwafu and make pioneers. I think you can get a 330 or something with two Kwafu or something. Greek, man, I don't think these guys struggle because you can just get the Ajax out. But I'll show off the fast advances with, actually, no, everyone knows how to advance fast with Poseidon. You basically just do what Poseidon does, but do it with Zeus. And Hades has got Sentinels, so he doesn't have much to worry about. Okay, let's do Egyptians. This one's actually really interesting because we have seen players losing here. I'm going to go onto a map that doesn't have the hunt to get moved in. So let's do Marsh. Okay, so this is with Ra. I'm gonna pretend like I'm playing Set or something. Okay, so we're just gonna get ourselves our mining camp up, and then we're gonna wander over here and get our food up. This is a little bit micro intensive, I guess, but I think this is maybe the best way to deal with the Kronos stuff. So we're playing Set and we're like empowering in the middle. If you were playing Ra, you could have just empowered the granary at the start there with the priest or something. Okay, now we do have to force drop. Not a problem.
In which you refer
Okay, we're good. And now we're going to be getting ourselves pickaxe soon. Like, of course, I could just be empowering this thing here, but I also think maybe getting some obelisks isn't a terrible idea. I could have been dropping those. So let's get one of those obelisks up and at least see some of the map. Not a terrible idea. Okay, now we're going to get ourselves pickaxe. You can force drop to squeeze this out a little bit earlier, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to make the build the builds too crazy difficult for everyone. I'll tell you what. I'm going to show you guys a little trick here. This will save a little bit of time and energy. There you go. And now we're all good there on this stuff. I do need to get a house down, I think. Do I? I can't remember. Okay, now we're going to get a temple. Oops. So do a big force drop, move our pharaoh over to the temple. And the perfect thing about this is this sets you up to grab a town center as well. So you don't even need to know what your opponent's doing. Oh, I just screwed it up. Ah! Do I have enough resources? Okay, that'll do. I screwed it up, but whatever. I missed a force drop. Okay. And we can get a house. Why are you guys idle? And now, okay, so now you know if they're coming or not. You can build the priest. You have your priest already to defend. He charges in, and you're kind of good to go to get these priests out, I guess. So yeah, we're advancing at 344. That's the idea. And from here you can either say, all right, we'll go for the town center, or we'll go for a classical fight. We'll go for a whole bunch of priests to defend the early game, and then we'll go for a classical fight, move back over onto the food. Of course, if they deconstruct your temple, you just rebuild the temple, right? Like, if you know the rush is coming, you just rebuild it. It doesn't take long. You got the pharaoh, you got all the villages, just rebuild it. So yeah, basically these two units here are enough to defend and heal. If the guys come through, you just start healing against the automatons until you hit the next stage. And you can build the priest, or if he does deconstruct it, then yeah, you just rebuild the temple and you get the priest in, and you can even put houses around to defend it. A little bit of micro, sure. But I think this is like your best bet here versus Kronos for Egyptian. And all the Egyptians can do this build. It's probably the best with Isis. You can actually also get Flood of the Nile out, and the monument, and the pickaxe, and get a 344 advance time if you do it correctly. So I don't need to show any more of that. Okay, so now you got Odin, Thor, and Freyr. Freyr is basically going to be the same as Loki, except you've got Gullenbursty. So you want to drop that against the Kronos Rush just to completely neuter it, and you just play a good game. Loki, the good thing about Loki is, if we go back over to... The good thing about Loki is I can actually spy what's going on. Alrighty, so here's our Loki build order versus Kronos. Our first thing here that we're going to do is start up a dwarf, send our ox cart over, shoot down the aurochs, and send our berserk directly to our opponent's base for a spy. So straight over onto this gold mine. We're also going to send an extra villager over as well. Any goats we find along the way is bonus. We don't have a lot of time to play with here. Now, obviously, if we jump into our opponent's base and see something awry, we can, or like maybe more standard, we can sort of adapt to that. But we come in here and we go, okay, nothing going on. Next villager onto the hunt. We go, okay, we run around the base. We see a villager on wood. This actually does mean that he's not doing a Kronos Rush, so we can adapt here. But I know I'm playing versus the AI, so I want to show you if he was potentially doing something else. So I'm going to do a full route around. At 1 minute, we see everything, because that next villager pops out, right? So if we see that villager going onto food, and there's 3 on food, 1 on gold, we know it's going to be a Kronos Rush. If we see a mana, we know it's not a Kronos Rush. But yeah, if it's 3 food, 1 gold, it's probably going to be a Kronos Rush. We pull back into our main base, and we're going to be looking... Well, it's going to be a 3-minute Kronos Rush. We're going to be looking for a temple in our main base. You can, like I said, you can always bail on this if they do something different here, which is the advantage of Loki. We're going to be putting our temple in the back of our base here. And the only thing we have to really be concerned about here is the timing at which we build our Herser, because it needs to come out directly after the villager. So it's going to be, we're going to be building it. So this 12th population villager comes out. This 13th is going to want to come out as well. And also the 14th is going to want to come out before our Herser pops out. So I'll pause and I'll show you the exact timing so you guys can work it out for yourself. So this is an 18 population, 18 second time. This is 16 seconds. So we have to start this Herser there at the very, very earliest 226. So we're going to wait for 227 and we're going to start the Herser here. And that way we're going to get both of these guys out and we're going to be able to hit this advance time no problems. We're going to get a dwarf out and we're actually going to be pre-queuing force setting. So as soon as this villager pops, we can think about doing a force drop. Doing a force drop and advancing. There you go. Now we've got our Herser and we can jump over onto some wood. Would have been nice to be over on this gold mine to share this, but that's not what I did. I'm going to put a whole bunch over there. Actually, we want to start up another Herser if we can. This berserk can be sitting in our base. We also have this Hursar out if we want to rebuild our stuff. You don't have to go Forseti here either. You can go Heimdall, which might be the better call. And then we get this next Hursar out, and you're just going to be pumping these guys for the foreseeable future here in the early game to defend. Of course, we want to be seeing where the temple is, so you can sort of scout around and things like that. Just keep building Hursar, and you're good to go at this point, I think, to defend against anything. He might cause some problems here in your base, but you've got these Hursar in, at the very least, to be defending the 3 minutes of automatons. These guys are actually doing damage. Of course, he could deconstruct the temple. If he does end up deconstructing the temple, don't actually have to rebuild it. It might be better to drop a Great Hall and make yourself that instead of the temple, right? But nonetheless, yeah, you're good to go at this point, and you should be able to defend against any sort of rush. Tricky with the berserk scouting and stuff like that. And I think that's it. I guess with Uranus and Gaia, you can just go faster to the classical age. There's no real problems there. And then you just go straight into Terma. Or you can go into Catapultis if you're good enough at defending with them. Especially with the things, with the Caladria. Anyways, those are my ideas. Good luck. Enjoy.